Hello Taurus, time is of the essence this month. It's August 2013. I'm Dadhichi from astrological.com.au with your monthly forecast, a synopsis. Time is of the essence, that's how I've started this reading for you this month. Third house of your horoscope is very powerfully activated by Mars, Jupiter and Mercury, with the moon up until the, I would say the 3rd of August, really focusing on your finances. And that's why time's of the essence, because you don't want to miss an opportunity. But by the same token, we see the square aspect, this angular aspect from Uranus, could make you a little bit jumpy, could have you doing things against your will. Now you do need to make change, you do need to jump on those contracts and those negotiations, but you mustn't do it at the inappropriate moment. And when is the appropriate moment? We see here, fortunately, have the very good trine aspect from Saturn, which for you is in the 7th house now, showing that if you've got partners, they may be able to keep a lid on things and to help you avoid these rash transactions that I'm seeing here. So it's a very delicate balance between being too impulsive and jumping the gun, and being too cautious and missing an opportunity. But anyhow, these 3 planets usually show a very powerful type of communication, contractual agreement, negotiation that may take place during this period. And let's have a look here. The moon is moving into those planetary vicinities around the 4th and 5th of August. So this is the first week of the month that a lot of this is going to be happening. So be alert to that, especially with Mercury. I think on the 5th, when we have this transit of the moon over that planet, your communication should fare better. You'll have a lot more creative nous, and the way you present yourself will be received very well. Bit of a change after that on the 6th and the 7th, when we have the moon moving into your 4th house of domestic activities. Big shift, just an about face from business and all this outward activity to a more domestic sort of circumstance, and a need to have a more cloistered sort of activity. Bit of time with family, friends in the social sense, around your own domicile. Mercury also moves into this 4th sector on the 8th. So communication with relatives is important at this time of the year. This happens once a year for approximately a month. And so this could be, connecting with cousins, distant relatives that you haven't seen for a while, or them actually coming to visit and stay with you. So the family issues are very strong at that time, up until the 10th. Moon moves into conjunction with Venus, your ruling planet, in the 5th house. 5th house is a place of creativity, but also love affairs and children too. So I might have mentioned to you briefly last month that this month should be very good in terms of your relationships. But it's also a month where you need to be working on the creative aspects. You mustn't rest on your laurels and just fall back into a complacent sort of attitude with the ones you love. You need to keep stimulating the relationship, providing change and challenge to them. And this is what can happen with the position of Venus in this particular sector of your horoscope. The 5th house is very nice, and also very good for your own creative impulses. But you've got to trust that, because Virgo, the place where it's located right now, is not exactly its most shining sort of direction. So you need to work hard, dig deep, and find those elements in your nature that are going to bring the best of you out for the world to see during this particular cycle. Venus moves at that time into the sign of Libra, which is your 6th house. That's around the 17th of August. So I think what we'll see there is a more creative dynamic in terms of your workplace. You might need to make your place of work a little more enjoyable, a little more conducive to that creative process that I'm talking about. And for some of you too, there could be some romance, a bit of flirtatious activity associated with your work. If you're dealing with customers, there might be someone that has their eye on you. So maybe it's a reciprocal thing too. So maybe you can enjoy that, but you know the old story. I was going to say something naughty, but you should never too much anyhow. Mix your business with your pleasure. Some other aspects here. Mercury moving to the sign of Virgo on the 24th. That's also very stimulating. It can show that your mind has a lot of new ideas at this time. So you should be planning for your future at this time. This is a long-term sort of effect. But it also has a lot to do with children, youngsters. You could be in the company of young people. And if you're a parent, this could show a much nicer reconnection with those people in your life. On the 28th, we see a very, very powerful transition of Mars. And that's going to move into your fourth sector, which is your family life. You need to be careful in the last couple of days of the month because Mars there is not very welcome, and it can show some real angst and disputes with the people you love most. So take a few deep breaths, end of the month. Don't rush into things too madly. Relax and have a game plan for a long-term future security. Look forward to seeing you next month. Here again. In the meantime, join me at astrology.com.au for this and much, much more. Take care now. Bye-bye.